Take heed and bear witness to the truths that lie herein, for they are the last legacy of the Haradrim. When the eternal conflict between the high heavens and the burning hells falls upon mortal soil, it is called the Sin War. Angels and demons walk amongst humanity, in disguise, fighting in secret, away from the prying eyes of mortals. Some daring, powerful mortals have even allied themselves with either side and helped to dictate the course of the Sin War.
And at the end of days, the first sign shall appear in the heavens. Justice shall fall upon the world of men. The armies of light and shadow will clash across the fields of eternity. Leah, are you all right, my girl?
It was nothing, Uncle. Just a bad dream. We should be getting you home.
But there's still work to be done. If these translations are correct, the powers of hell could already be on the move. The world must be told of the coming darkness. Since the first spark of creation, angels have waged the eternal conflict to defeat the forces of darkness and corruption. Led by the Angira's council, their unity made them an indomitable force for light and righteousness. Stand fast! Oriel, Archangel of Hope. Malthael, Archangel of Wisdom. Ethereal, Archangel of Fate. Tyrael, Archangel of Justice. And Imperious, the Archangel of Valor.
Hold, Imperious. We must regroup our forces.
Hold! Victory is within our grasp! We press on, brother!
face me alone, Imperious. Your rage makes you powerful, yet you hide it from your brethren. Perhaps you fear them seeing you for what you truly are.
I fear nothing! This was your trap, Diablo. Pitiful.
Yet, here you all are.
At last, we have captured one of the prime evils. Holding him will surely turn the tide of war in our favor.
Take your vengeance, Imperious. Seal your victory.
This is not justice, brother. Nor does this decision lie with you alone. If you slay him, he will simply return in time. But if we imprison him...
Against his kind, there could only be blood for blood!
Sacrilege.
So much for your unity. The trap, at last, is sprung.
You do believe me, don't you, Leah? It has begun.
Leave it, Uncle. It's not important.
So it came to be that the three prime evils were banished in spirit form to the mortal realm, and after sowing chaos across the east for decades, they were hunted down by the cursed order of the mortal Haradrim. The Haradrim used artifacts called soul stones to contain the essence of Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred, and his brother Baal, the Lord of Destruction. The youngest brother, Diablo, the Lord of Terror, escaped to the west. Eventually, the Haradrim captured Diablo within a soul stone as well, and buried him under an ancient forgotten cathedral. There, the Lord of Terror sleeps and awaits the time of his rebirth. Know ye that he will seek a body of youth and power to possess, one that is innocent and easily controlled. He will then arise to free his brothers and once more fan the flames of the Sin War.
The events of the past year are unbelievable, and have driven me to write again my thoughts. No matter how hard I try, the facts are unavoidable. Our King Leoric has gone mad, lashing out in crazed frenzy at the abduction of his son, Albrecht, and our steady losses in the ill-advised war against Westmarch, leading to an open revolt among his guards. There is something almost palpable in the air. It feels like terror. Can the old stories be true? Can the tales of the brave Haradrim and the Lords of Hell be more than a legend? A fairy tale told to me by my mother? I used to thrive on those tales of bravery and heroism. I'd imagine myself as one of them, the mysterious Haradrim, led by the inscrutable Tal Rasha. I was so proud to be the last of the Haradrim, the one who would travel the world fighting evil wherever it dwelt. The boundless energy of youth. Could there be some basis in truth to all these tales? The signs all point to this, but how is someone with my education, my knowledge, to take these tales seriously? Is there really some dark entity buried beneath our town? If only my aging mind could remember the tales as vividly as I did in my younger days. I am a fool. If I had acted sooner, if I had voiced my concerns, they would not be dead. Farnham would not be the drunken sot he now is. Lazarus, supposed Archbishop of Light, has lured a group of villagers to their horrific end under the guise of searching for the king's missing son. Is he the architect of the evil that has befallen the town? Or simply an unwitting pawn? The nights are long, and as I sit and listen to the hellish drones emanating from the cathedral, I begin to see my path clearly before me. I shall return to the texts. There must be an answer, a way to defeat this evil that torments us. Each new terror sends more townspeople fleeing. There are only a few of us left now. Griswold, Pepin, Ogden, Farnham, the unfortunate Wirt, and of course, the fair Gillian. There is someone else, however. Someone who has come while others flee. I am not sure what to make of this Adria, who openly calls herself witch. She has access to all manner of arcane knowledge that even I do not. Why has she come here now, at this heinous time? I feel there is something amiss about her. Every dawn seems to bring more adventurers into our midst, but none who can yet be called hero. I bide my time and continue scouring the old texts for answers. If only I had taken them more seriously, not dismissed them so lightly. Finally, one of these adventurers seems to stand out from the rest. Though a man of few words, he radiates a calm and focus that unnerve the others, who are only interested in pillaging and looting. I feel I have come to know this hero, this wanderer. I have revealed my history and shared my knowledge with him. I hope it is enough.
The tragic fall of Leoric was a harsh blow to this land. The people always loved the king, and now they live in mortal fear of him. The question that I keep asking myself is how he could have fallen so far from the light, as Leoric had always been the holiest of men. Only the vilest powers of hell could so utterly destroy a man from within. Even before King Leoric descended into madness and lost his son, the Archbishop Lazarus was acting strangely. Lazarus seemed to be motivated by unseen forces clinging to shadows and acting out some dark plan that was not his own.
I have suspected for a time now the true nature of the evil that is at the heart of our troubles. But it was too horrible to admit the truth of it. But the time for denial is past. It is the Dark Lord of Terror, Diablo himself, who plagues us. The vile staff of Lazarus was brought to me today, further confirming my suspicions. There is no longer any doubt that he is the one who kidnapped Albrecht, and perhaps even freed Diablo from his ancient prison. Who knows what further treachery he has planned? Luckily, I suspect Lazarus has not long to live, if our champion has anything to say on it.
Your story is quite grim, my friend. Lazarus will surely burn in hell for his horrific deed. The boy that you describe is not our prince. But I believe that Albrecht may yet be in danger. The symbol of power that you speak of must be a portal in the very heart of the labyrinth. Know this, my friend. The evil that you move against is the Dark Lord of Terror. He is known to mortal men as Diablo. It was he who was imprisoned within the labyrinth many centuries ago, and I fear that he seeks to once again sow chaos in the realm of mankind. You must venture through the portal and destroy Diablo before it is too late.
The Soul Stone burns with hellfire as an eerie red glow blurs your vision. Fresh blood flows into your eyes, and you begin to hear the tormented whispers of the damned. You have done what you knew must be done. The essence of Diablo is contained. For now. You pray that you have become strong enough to contain the demon and keep him at bay. Although you have been fortified by your quest, you can still feel him, clawing his way up from the dark recesses of your soul. Fighting to retain control, your thoughts turn toward the ancient mystic lands of the Far East. Perhaps there, beyond the desolate wastes of Arreat, you will find an answer. Or perhaps salvation.
I dreamt of the death wail of a small child tonight. It tore up from the depths, shattering the windows of the decrepit cathedral. As I started awake, it became apparent that it was actually the shriek of Diablo's tortured end. Unable to return to sleep after such an unsettling cry, I ventured outdoors to await the warrior's return. He finally emerged, covered in blood, much his own, much his enemies'. I am greatly relieved that he survived the ordeal, and that these horrible events are now in our past. But my mind is troubled. For could this not have been avoided if I had not dismissed my legacy so lightly? I have never seen Tristram bursting with such joy as in the weeks since Diablo's defeat. The town's quiet, brooding hero, whom I am proud to call friend, has humbly endured these celebrations. Yet it seems clear to me that the scars he gained beneath the church run deeper than those upon his skin, and may have changed him forever. I have offered counsel, but he remains distant. Time, perhaps, is the only thing that may heal him. How could I have been so blind? I believed my friend's melancholy to be a natural reaction to the horrors he had lived. How could I not have seen that he carried within him the very being of Diablo? After brooding for weeks, he finally slipped away in the night. Perhaps he has gone to the east, that he so often woke screaming about in the days following his victory over the Lord of Terror. Shortly after he left us, legions of foul demons attacked and burned our town to its foundations. None of the townspeople were spared, and not even the women or children were allowed the peace of the grave. Instead, all were reanimated in grisly undeath. And Griswold, who had so faithfully armored the one I had called friend during his battles, suffered perhaps the worst fate of all, being corrupted into a slavering demonic beast, thirsting after human flesh. This is no simple madness. It can be nothing less than possession by the Lord of Terror himself. The fool, he thought he could contain Diablo's evil. His reckless overconfidence has proven costly to us all. I sit now, caged, amongst the screams and the hellfire, as I await my own end.
None of this makes any sense to me. What am I missing, Uncle? What am I supposed to see?
So, Marius, at last I find you.
Tyrael, yes. Yes, now I recognize you. I should have known you'd travel in disguise. They're always watching.
I've been searching for you for a long time, Marius. I was rather beginning to think you didn't want to be found.
Oh, forgive me, Tyrael, please. It wasn't my fault.
Not your fault. Tell me, Marius, how was it not your fault?
The Wanderer. Yes, it was the Wanderer. My days at the Rogue Citadel seemed so long ago, I sought refuge from my memories in the company of other outcasts, high in the mountains past the eastern gate.
Do you want something?
I fought sleep for days at a time. For when I dreamt, the memories would return. Memories of the monastery and the evil which had claimed it. Dreams, memories. I couldn't tell the difference anymore. Had the evil from my dreams followed me at my heels? How had he found me here? How could this broken shell of a man, barely able to carry the weight of his own sword, be the burning terror which drove me to hide here? He seemed to have demons of his own that he struggled to contain. And he was losing. As I watched, I became convinced that I was truly mad. The terror, the destruction, the evil I witnessed, how else could I explain them? Were these the demons from my dream, or were they born within the Wanderer? Why did I follow him? I don't know. Why do things happen as they do in dreams? All I know is that when he beckoned, I had to follow him. And from that moment, we traveled together east. Always into the east.
Although I had long given up hope and surrendered to my inevitable fate, the impossible happened today. I was rescued. Heroes have come to Kandurus to combat the corruption that the man I've come to call the Dark Wanderer has brought upon these lands. He had long since departed on some unknown mission, but they could not follow until they defeated the vile demoness Andariel, who barred the only passage east.
Ancient Haradrim texts record that Andariel and the other lesser evils once overthrew the three prime evils, Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal, banishing them from hell to our world. Here they caused mankind untold anguish and suffering before they were finally bound within the Soul Stones. Andariel's presence here could mean that the forces of hell are once again aligned behind Diablo and his brothers. If this is true, then I fear for us all.
I have decided to join them, in the hopes that my knowledge of the ancient ways might be of some help.
We traveled east, over the mountains and into the vast deserts of broken lands. As the days passed, my companion told me of himself, that he had once been a great warrior, and that a dark and secret burden now weighed heavily upon him. We traveled for an eternity across that arid wasteland. How long? I couldn't say. And always, a dark cloud seemed to follow us just over the horizon. Finally, the journey ended. We climbed the last bridge. There below us lay our destination. The shining jewel, Lut Gholein, with a great sea beyond. We made camp there last night. Perhaps it was the warm desert wind or the sound of the ocean, but for the first time in many weeks, I slept. However, the dreams returned, but these were clearly not my own. I beheld a vision of a great man, the mage, Talrasha. You were there too, Tyrael. I remember seeing you in my dream. His brethren had cornered a great demon, Baal, Lord of Destruction, who had been set loose upon the world. They attempted to imprison the demon within a sacred stone. Yet when their attempts failed, Talrasha selflessly volunteered to contain the demon within himself, completing the prison. He instructed his brethren to bind him within a tomb, buried under the sand, there to wrestle with the demon for all eternity.
Now you know what I seek, Marius. This is my brother. Sleep now. We set out with the dawn.
The next morning, we walked over the hill toward Lut Gholein. I had no idea then of the horrors that were in store for me there.
Our sense of relief is overwhelming, now that our passage through the desert is finally over, and we have arrived in Lut Gholein. Though I tell no one, Diablo's terror has left its mark upon me as well. I wake in the night, suffering unholy visions of the destruction visited upon my home, the slaughter of the helpless villagers, and the echoes of dark acts perpetrated beneath the earth. I hope that these will pass in time, but I fear that I will never escape them. I spoke with the people of the town for a clue to the whereabouts of my former friend, but information is scarce. We have learned that he does not travel alone. He has a companion named Marius. I can only wonder what part he plays in all of this.
My companion drew in the dank, cold air of the tomb. It seemed to strengthen him. I stood in the doorway between light and dark. What was left of my sanity implored me not to enter. But that voice was just a whisper now. As we worked our way down, deeper and deeper into the crypt, I began to see a change in my companion. He seemed to be gaining strength. I could hardly see in the gloom, but my companion seemed to know the way. We came at last to a great hall. It was then I realized my companion hadn't been gaining strength. He had been losing what was left of his humanity. He moved with demonic speed, and then you appeared.
Stop! The beast contained herein shall not be set free, not even by you.
Just ensured the doom of this world. You cannot even begin to imagine what you've set in motion this day. Go to the Temple of Light in the eastern city of Karast. There you will find the gate to hell opened before you. You must find the courage to step through that gate, Marius. Take the stone you hold to the Hellforge, where it will be destroyed. Now run. Take the stone and run!
What choice did I have? I ran.
We are too late. My companions followed the trail of the Dark Wanderer to the tomb of Tal Rasha, only to be confronted by the demon Duriel. Baal's soul stone was nowhere to be found. We can assume that Baal is free once again, and that he and the Wanderer have departed for Travancore to free their brother, Mephisto. This must not be allowed to happen.
I did as you told me, Tyrael. I found the temple of the Zakarum. In the deepest recesses of the temple, I found a dark gathering. My companion, the Wanderer, Rasha, and a great evil who could only be the Lord of Hatred himself. Mephisto, I heard a voice then, like 1,000 needles in my heart.
My brothers, at long last we stand reunited. The Infernal Gate has been prepared, and the time of our final victory is at hand. Let the way to hell be opened. And the evil that was once vanquished shall rise anew. Wrapped in the guise of man shall he walk amongst the innocent, and terror shall consume they that dwell upon the earth. The skies shall rain fire, and the seas will become as blood. The righteous shall fall before the wicked, and all creation shall tremble before the burning standards of hell.
What I saw then was not meant for mortal eyes.
The gate stands ready. Now, my young brother, the time has come to assume your true form. Arise, Diablo, Lord of Terror. Send forth your terror into hell.
Today, I have seen what has become of the man who once risked everything to save us from the Lord of Terror. It was here, in the jungles outside Kurast, that we caught our first fleeting glimpse of the Dark Wanderer. It saddens me to think that even as steadfast and noble a hero as he has proven insignificant beneath the corrupting influence of the Lord of Terror. I weep for what he once was, and yet I curse him for the arrogance that has led him to this path, sowing pain and death across our world. Mephisto's resurrection in our world was brief. My companions have seen to that. They fought through horrors I can scarcely imagine to defeat him and reclaim his soul stone. They also brought back the devastating news that the Wanderer was no more. All traces of his humanity had been eradicated. He had been completely overtaken by Diablo in mind, body, and spirit. Fortunately, they have succeeded in driving him back to his fiery home, and they tell me they mean to assault the burning hells in order to put an end to his existence once and for all. I can only wish them luck.
I heard later that he was defeated. And that the Soul Stone were destroyed in Hellforge. All except one.
Oh, I failed, Diablo. I couldn't do as you asked. I couldn't enter that gate. Forgive me, Tyrael. Forgive me.
Marius, give me the stone, and all is forgiven. Give it to me, Marius.
Take it. Take it, take it. I'm glad this is finally over, Tyrael. Look what the stone has done to me.
You haven't failed, old man. You've done exactly as you were meant to do. However, I am not the Archangel Tyrael.
Well, no.
You have done well, Marius. Now I think you shall have your reward.
I've done to deserve.
Diablo is dead. I have long desired to hear these words, but now that they come, I feel little joy. News has also reached us of a demonic army marching upon Arreat. This is Baal's doing, no doubt. We depart for the north with the tide. Still, we must count our blessings. The soul stones of Mephisto and Diablo have been destroyed at the Hell Forge, and they will trouble us no further. Only one remains.
The gates of Sescheron have stood for eons beyond remembrance, and you shall not breach them now. Remove your foul demons from our lands. We stand on the side of light, and you shall not be allowed to reach Mount Arreat. And that which you seek will not be yours.
Enough! Enough! Enough!
I shall take your position into consideration. Well, it seems your terms are not acceptable.
The cold of the northern mountains chills me to my old and weary bones. Baal's army holds the mountain passes from our haven in Harrogath all the way to the summit. The honor, strength, and dedication of my companions never cease to amaze me. They are, even now, braving the demons and snow to reach Baal himself. Rumors of betrayal swirl through the town. This time, we must not be too late. It seems we are cursed. Even in victory, we face defeat. Although the heroes destroyed Baal, the angel Tyrael has delivered grave news. An object of great power that he calls the World Stone was held in secret at the mountain's summit, and it had been corrupted by Baal. He believes the only option open to him is to destroy it. I know too little of this World Stone and what powers it may hold to guess what might come of this. But I fear our actions may scar the world in ways we cannot know. I pray Tyrael is making the right choice.
us all. One by one, our brethren fell into your trap. But not me. I defy you. I know the Black Soul Stone is the key, and it shall be mine. Soon my army shall pour forth from the shattered mountain, ravaging this world and all hope of resistance. My minions will find the stone, wherever you choose to hide it. Then, at long last, Osmodan shall reign as the prime evil.
It has been said. That in the end of all things, we would find a new beginning. But as the shadow once again crawls across our world, and the stench of terror drifts on a bitter wind, the people pray for strength and guidance. They should pray for the mercy of a swift death.